Hey there guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the eMeet C950. So I was looking for a pretty inexpensive webcam for my desktop, and when you look on Amazon, you're just going to have a slew of different options out there. This one seemed to fit the bill for me. It has a kind of unique design. It offers 1080p quality, as well as having a pretty low price, which was nice. So this one comes in at a price of $19.99. They do have a 10% off coupon as well right now. And some quick features before we take a look at it. It does offer 1080p quality, noise canceling microphone, 70-degree field of view, and it has auto low light correction. And taking a look in the box, you can see on the top we have our webcam and our cable, and we have a quick start guide included. Taking a closer look at the webcam, you can see that it is circular. We have a glossy black finish all the way around. You can see HD 1080p and eMeet Ink webcam inscribed at the top and bottom. And then looking at it from the side, you can see this is it in its folded view. You can unfold this like so, and then you'll see how it's going to look on top of the monitor. So your monitor will sit here, and then obviously it's going to be too thin, so you'll just put this back a little bit so that it kind of sits on the monitor properly so that you can use it. And then at the end, you can see we have USB-A for our input, and it is blue, so it looks like it's a super speed USB. And if you use a Mac or any computer with USB-C ports, you will need an adapter to use this, unfortunately. And the cable length is not listed anywhere that I could see, but it looks like it's maybe about 4 or 5 feet, so it should hopefully reach the back of your computer if you are using a desktop. And just to give you an idea of how it's going to look on your monitor, as you can see, you're gonna have the front of the camera, of course, on the front of the monitor, and then you have the portion in the back, and you'll bend that just so that it sits properly. And then, of course, this will angle as well. It's a little hard to do this one-handed, but you can see that it will angle so you can get that view just right when you're using the camera. And this camera is plug and play. So as you can see, I just plugged this into the USB port and I'm able to use it right away. You can see on the top, the white light is showing because I do have the camera running right now. And if you do install this and you want to test the viewing angle before you actually use this on Zoom or any other web application where you're sharing video, I would suggest using the built-in camera app. As you can see, you can just go into search on Windows and just type in camera, and we'll come up with this application here. So as you can see, I can see my view right here, and then I can go over to my camera if I need to, and I can adjust that as needed. So that's just one way if you wanted to check out the viewing angle. Now, what I found kind of interesting is it shows a privacy shutter on the website, but there's no actual privacy shutter on here. As you can see, there's nothing integrated here. However, I did see a video on this before, and it just shows it being flipped up. So that is your privacy shutter. However, as you can see, it still shows up working when you go into the camera app. And for this camera, they also offer software called eMeet Link, which I'll leave a link to down below if you do plan on buying this camera. And they do have a Windows version as well as a macOS version. This offers image adjustment as well as firmware upgrades for the camera itself. And here's a quick look at the eMeet application. So as you can see here, we have a little window showing our camera view. We do have a couple options here at the top where we can do a mirror flip. So you can flip that around. You can also do a vertical flip, so it'll flip it upside down. We also have a couple of filters that you can choose from here. So we have black and white, cartoon, and customization. So if we select one of those, say for example, if we select one of these filters, all you have to do here is click save. Now it'll be saved here for the camera. And if you decide to go to your camera app of choice, whether you're using Zoom, camera, what have you, once we open that, you can see it's in black and white. So after you save that customization in the eMeet application, it will translate to whichever app you're using afterwards, which is kind of nice. So we'll go back in here and we'll take a look at the rest of our choices here. And as you can see, we also have cartoon and then we have customization. When you click on the customization for filters, you can see that these options open up for brightness, contrast, sharpness, and saturation. So of course you can adjust those at your will. And you can see the difference it'll make here. And once you're satisfied with the way it looks in the viewfinder, you can of course then save it and it will translate to whichever camera application you're using. Now, if you're not wanting to use these as they are, you can also restore the defaults, as you can see, and just click confirm, and it will reset everything back to the way it was. You also have an anti-flicker setting here for 50 Hertz as well as 60 Hertz. So if you notice there's flickering in the actual webcam itself, you can change that and it should hopefully help with that. Now, I did notice a little bit of flickering in the webcam when it's under 50 Hertz, but when it's under 60, it looks a lot better. So I don't know if you can see this on camera. You can see the light kind of going up, but if I click on the 60 Hertz, that actually goes away. So if you do end up having that issue with this camera, definitely download the application, and then you can of course adjust that so that it will look a little bit better if you do have some bright lighting in the room. And then at the bottom, of course, we do have an option for a firmware update, which could possibly help with any issues you may have with the camera. And in addition to the settings for the camera itself, for the application, we have a couple of different options as well on the left-hand side here. We have the settings for the application where you can change the language, update the software, or allow message pop-ups. We have the notification center where you may have notifications from eMeet. We have a support section where you can read frequently asked questions, user manual, or reach out to them for assistance, as well as a personal profile where you can log in and collaborate with them if you wanted to. What is great is that they don't force you to actually have an account to use this. You can just download this and use this standalone, which is nice. Of course, here is a quick sample from the camera so you can get an idea of how it will look and how it will sound if you decide to buy this camera. So as I mentioned previously, it is 1080p. You do have 2 microphones on this as well, and for the most part I think it works pretty well for an inexpensive price, so definitely well worth it. You also have the eMeet application where you can change and customize some of the settings, as well as upgrade the firmware if you do have an option available to you. So if you're interested in this, I'll leave a link down below, as well as a link for the application if you wanted to download that if you do decide to get this camera. Definitely pretty good so far. I've been pretty pleased with it. I've actually filmed 1 or 2 videos using this webcam, and you may see those if you go check out my other videos. But anyway guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave those down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.